Yellow guys, what is up? So another YouTube video morning. Today's video I have for you guys here today the Thunderbolts, Yelena Belova, and Red Guardian 2-pack. I picked this up at my local GameStop. Been searching for this 2-pack forever. You guys know that. I've been trying to find the Spark Your Collection displays at Walmart's, and I haven't been able to find them. Here is the Yelena Belova little write-up, and here is the Red Guardian one. But yeah, you have some nice, like, dark, kind of glitchy. It gives off kind of Winter Soldier vibes for the box packaging, which I really like. I paid, I think, $57 for this. But 60 bucks at GameStop is kind of crazy. They're really, like, upcharging their stuff now. GameStop is. They did also have the U.S. Agent and Sentry 2-pack. I didn't pick that one up. At first, I actually didn't find this in the GameStop store, and I got real sad because this was the one I really, really wanted. And I finally, like, I was about to leave GameStop, I kid you not, and I found this, picked this one up. And yeah, with that said, guys, let's go ahead and crack this one open. And getting this 2-pack out of the packaging. Oh my gosh, this looks great. The one that I'm definitely most excited for out of this 2-pack is the Red Guardian. This was, like, when he first got revealed, my favorite figure out of the 4. Oh my gosh, first impressions, this looks great. Okay, and getting these two guys out of the box, and I'm loving this 2-pack. One of them I'm definitely liking more than the other, but they are both really good. But with that said, let's go ahead and take a closer look at these guys. Starting off with Red Guardian, this is how he came out of the box. And I'm going to be honest, I'm liking Yelena a bit more, which is crazy to me because this figure I was so unbelievably excited for. But there are some things that I just don't really like how they did. Specifically, the waist swivel. I don't know why it's so loose like this. Like, and I know it's like this on every other figure. It's just such a weird thing. This is why I hate waist swivels for things like this. Fortunately, though, it's not loose, so that's good. But it's so stupid to me because if you have the diaphragm joint, which does the exact same thing as a waist swivel, it's just kind of redundant to have the waist swivel and pointless. But with that said, starting off the head sculpt, you have the nice star right there on his forehead. This figure is almost a complete 100% new sculpt minus the boots. These are the only thing that I can think of that are reused from the previous 2 Red Guardian figures from the Black Widow movie. But you do have these nice shoulder pads which look very homemade. The silver star right there on his chest, very much like this suit. You have the cuffs right there, his fingerless gloves, which I really like. You have, like, this nice kind of football-esque padding, which more of that, like, homemade stitching all over there. Same on the pads. And you have all these straps holding on, like, the pads and stuff right there. On the back, you can see this piece is a separate piece. You have some gun holsters right in there, which look really cool. You have the belts. This figure is completely pinless, which is also really nice. You get some nice, really cool silver accents in the actual helmet right there for the straps. And of course, this time around you have the big bushy beard that David Harbour was rocking, so I think that's really awesome. Again, the silver star, more of those silver accents all throughout the body on the belts, some of the other belt buckles. And then you have these pieces right here which are keyed in. I don't know why they didn't just sculpt it in and then paint it later, but they are separate pieces right there. These, like, dark maroon colored pieces. And then you get down to the legs, which these legs are smoother than the original figures. More of those straps right there on the side. Then you get down to the boots, which are cool. Nothing special though. I do wish they painted those silver. That would have been a nice touch. But yeah, don't have, like, a picture of Red Guardian here from the Thunderbolts, but I'm gonna assume this is pretty accurate. I mean, he looks really good. One thing I really like is that these shoulder pads are, like, a separate piece and they get out of the way, but that's pretty standard for Legends now. And then you do have that nice dry brushing all over the beard right there. The eyes are very nicely painted in. Everything else, like, I don't see a single bit of, like, paint slop anywhere, which is really nice. So yeah, pretty cool. And now we're gonna take a look at Yelena. So here is Yelena in her Thunderbolts outfit. I do not have the original Yelena from the Black Widow movie, but I do have the Yelena from Hawkeye, which will compare her to her in comparisons. But just looking at the figure right off the bat, this looks so good and so much like Florence Pugh. It's incredible. There are some random black dots on the face, which is kind of weird. I don't know why that's there. But you can't really see them from normal lighting. And then you have that nice dark kind of brown wash in the hair on the blonde, which looks really good. You have her baton holders. One thing that I didn't like about the figure when I first saw it was how, like, this side of the costume was kind of being held down. I don't know why. It's just kind of pissed me off that it's not, like, even. Just my brain messing with me. You do have, like, this nice kind of pattern going down, like ribbed pattern going down the side, which looks really cool. Again, pinless. You have her tasers right there in silver. Golden belt buckle, which is in the symbol of the Black Widow. The Black Widow symbol, which is really nice. Then you have these more like kind of military-esque pants and combat boots right there for Yelena. I really do like this suit. I think it's her best suit in the MCU yet. Even though I did like the white one, I definitely have to say that this is her best yet. You even have some nice paint on these shoulder pads right there, which don't know what they're supposed to be, but they're there. It's kind of just like these gold circles. And then you do have the baton holders again. Nice gray paint on the belt loops. Completely pinless. One thing that I also thought was kind of weird when I first saw this figure, I thought the knees were, like, the knee joints were too far down. But they're not, it's not too bad. Like, it's not, yeah, like, I feel like that's not too shabby. Like, her knee definitely goes up a little past her ass, which I think is a little bit kind of weird and not the standard for Legends, but not too bad. And again, you have, like, this holster on her side, which is connected to the belt, so you cannot turn this leg 100 or full 360 around, otherwise you will rip that. So be careful with that. But, yeah, this definitely is a great figure. And now let's go ahead and take a look at articulation. Starting off with Red Guardian, he can look up that far. Pretty good. Look down that far, not great. Tilt, which is fairly nice all the way around. Then moving into the shoulders, you do get past 90, which is great. You get all the way around, and no butterfly joints, but you do have bicep swivel, double jointed, pinless elbows, which get a pretty good bend for a big beefy character like himself. You do get the hinge and swivel on the wrist. This is his trigger finger hand, so that's like that hinge. And then you do have, of course, the diaphragm joint, which I love. You can get some actually really nice crunch with this figure. But you do have like that kind of bump in the back. And then you get some nice back as well. I just wish they used a different scheme and not the... honestly, I wish they just would have completely gotten rid of the waist swivel here. That would have made everything better. But, of course, you do have the waist swivel, which is annoying. And then the leg does go past... it's about 90 degrees. And then you do have the splits, which is honestly really good. Thigh swivel, which is nice, double jointed, pinless elbows, knees, boot swivel, and you do get ankle pivot, which goes down that far, up that far, and of course, pivot. Pretty mid, nothing special for the articulation with this guy. And then with Yelena, her head goes up not at all because of her hair. Maybe if I push it behind her. No, it doesn't go up at all. You do get some really nice down, though, which goes, her chin goes behind the collar. You do get some nice tilt in there all the way around. The arms do go up past 90. The shoulder joints are sculpted to the shoulders, or the shoulder pads are sculpted to the shoulders, so they just go in with the shoulder, and then it go all the way around. No butterfly joints, but you do have a nice bicep swivel. Well, there you go, bicep swivel, full 360, and then some nice double jointed pinless elbows in there. Of course, you have the Black Widow wristbands, and then the hinge and swivel on the wrist. The torso, you just have a diaphragm joint. Thank God there's no waist joint here. It doesn't crunch forward that far, and it doesn't go back that far. I definitely wish there was a lower out crunch on this one. But you do get some nice tilts in there as well. The legs go about 90 degrees. You have nice splits, pretty good. Not as good as Red Guardian, funnily enough. Thigh swivel with those baggy jeans. And then you do get some nice double jointed pinless knees right there. No boot swivel, but you do get ankles that go down that far, up that far, and you have ankle pivot and rocker. For accessories, Red Guardian comes with 2 trigger finger hands and 2 guns, which he does have holsters for in the back, which do slide in nicely in there, nice and tight, so you can have him without his pistols on, which I don't think he ever used a pistol in the movie, funnily enough. But yeah, there's that. And then he does get 1 alternate fisted hand and then 1 open kind of grabby style hand. And then the last accessory you get with this guy is his alternate David Harbour head sculpt. And oh my gosh, does this look great. It looks exactly like him in my opinion. You have this big, bald, beautiful shaved head right there with his nice furry beard. And this just gives me so much more hype for season 5 of Stranger Things. But yeah, this head sculpt definitely looks great and exactly like him. There are the 2 head sculpts next to each other. And then for Yelena's accessories, he comes with 2 open trigger finger hands and then 2 alternate fisted hands, which do pop on there nicely. And she comes with 4 different weapons, 2 of which are the same thing. So she comes with a little baby knife right there, which does actually, haven't tried this yet, is supposed to sheath in right there, which looks really difficult to get in there. But once you do, wouldn't you know it, fits in there nice and snug. And she comes with her little baby pistol right there, which does have some black paint on it. That's nice. Again, has a little holster for it. So just plug that in and bada bing, bada boom. And then she comes with her little 2 widow sticks, Eskrima sticks, which, if you didn't know, plug in the back right like that, which looks even more nice. So the best thing about this figure is that you can have her with all of her weapons and accessories on the figure. So you don't need to have like any weapon storage or anything, minus like the fist, which obviously have to go in a bin somewhere. But yeah, you can have her holding all 4 of her weapons on the figure, which I think is great. And then for comparisons, since I have all my MCU figures pretty much on my MCU shelf, I'm just going to show you each figure with the MCU characters. So there is Red Guardian with all of them. I think he fits in pretty swell with these guys. And then here is Yelena with the MCU figures right there. And yeah, that's pretty much going to do it for today's video. So overall, what are my final thoughts on these Marvel Legends Thunderbolts 2-pack? Honestly, I really like it. I think I'm a little bit disappointed with David Harbour's Red Guardian, just mainly due to the stupid waist swivel. But honestly, the belt kind of hides it every now and then, but it's so ugly, that big-ass cut right there, so I really don't like that. But other than that, the head sculpts this guy comes with are great. So out of 10, I'm probably going to give him a like 7.5 out of 10. Pretty good, but a little bit disappointed, especially with some friends hyping him up. But this Yelena figure, man, do I really like her. She's honestly probably my favorite female figure of the year and has potential to be top 10 of the year. Definitely a great figure. I'm going to give her a 9 out of 10. I just love the military aspect to her, and I think it's definitely our best Yelena figure to date with all the new updated articulation. And the first one to have all pinless joints and double jointed elbows. The only thing is I wish she had a better crunch with like a lower ab crunch and then some butterfly joints, but MCU figures typically don't get that anyway. So but I also love how compact she is and how every one of her weapons fits on her body. But yeah, guys, that's gonna do it for today's review. Let me know if you guys want to see me review the Sentry Bob and US Agent John Walker figure. But yeah, that's gonna do it. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all that YouTube remote, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.